Here we go!
Hey people, what's up? This is Gamer Blake 90, your proud chief of the blue blurs and red blurs, coming at you with the next episode of my Sonic 3 and Knuckles playthrough series. But first, I don't see Sonic on the screen. Where'd he? Oh. Well, there you are, Sonic, being sneaky and all. But, yo, bro, Sonic, what is it with you and long balls? Exactly how do you always manage to survive those? You first see that phenomenon with this game where he unceremoniously disembarks a flying battery and lands right into sand, although I can excuse that because sand is a much softer surface to fall on, so it can serve as somewhat of a buffer, but in Sonic Adventure, he jumps off the egg carrier, which is like thousands of feet in the sky, and lands onto the floor of a jungle. Although, thinking about that one, it might have been the tree branches in that jungle that broke his fall to the point that he was able to survive it. But still, he fell like, what, how many thousands of feet from the sky exactly? Maybe even 10,000 or somewhere along that line? And still managed to survive it, after falling onto a much harder surface. Oh shoot. You know what, Tails? Give me a lift. Tails. I said give me a lift? Can you fly, please? Thank you. Took a little effort to activate his flight mechanic. Usually I don't like to do this, but whatever. I'm gonna swallow my pride. Anyway, in this video we're gonna be going through the Sandopolis Zone, as I'm sure you've realized by now. And it's one of those stages that I'm pretty sure the Sonic community would prefer to purge from its memory as swiftly as possible. Especially if they first played this game as a kid, and they had to experience the second act in some form. Probably more likely as Knuckles rather than Sonic, cause when Knuckles starts the second act, he is immediately besieged by a gimmick that I'll go into greater detail on when we actually get to that second act. It was always known that Knuckles was considered to be a somewhat more challenging version of Sonic 3, and I strongly stress somewhat because unlike Sonic, he had abilities that made the game a lot more open to him, like scaling walls, breaking walls that Sonic cannot break down by spin dashing, and gliding. So in a sense, it made the game a mixture of easier and harder for him all at once. Easier because it allowed him to really open up the stages, and harder because the boss battle always changed up in some way that made them more of a headache for him to deal with. In some cases. Really depends on the stage you're dealing with, but let's be careful here. We don't want those sandworms to get the better of us. Pay close attention to the quicksand while you're moving across it. If you see it bubbling up like that just now, that is a sign that an attacker is coming your way, so be ready to jump, and if it's possible at all, time your attack, so that you can beat out the badnik just as it tries to get the drop on you. I see there's an area up there, so once again, Tails? How do I activate? Well shoot, I did the spin dash by accident. Oh, what a fall that we took there. That's another long fall, but that one we survived because we landed on what feels like a trampoline of sorts. Only it's made up of knots of a rope or something like that? I don't really know what exactly those objects are that make up the trampolines. But either way, oh boy, Sandopolis. The first act isn't so unbearable, but get ready when we get to the second act because it's, for lack of a better term to describe it, it can feel very, very crushing. Let's not worry about that right now, though. A bubble shield? A sand-based day like this one is kind of a weird place to find a bubble shield, but I found fire shields in water-based stages, so I've seen weirder. Let's see. Oh shoot! I almost ran right underneath that and got impaled! Oh my gosh! That would have been terrible. I don't think I've lost any lives at all in this playthrough series, did I? If that's the case, well, let's try to keep that streak going. Oh look! A big ring. But of course we already have all the Chaos Emeralds, so we're gonna pick up a free 50 rings for our trouble. And we can go hypersonic right now if we want to, but I don't want to breeze through the game in that form of power, so we're gonna handle things with good old-fashioned regular Sonic, at least up until we get to the, wow, to the very last stage of the game. And y'all see that? I actually timed my use of the Insta-Shield so that badnik spiked tail would not touch me. That's a pretty skillful use of the move, I have to say. And yes, that's just one of many possibilities you have with the Insta-Shield. It's part of the reason why I think this is Sonic's best double jump ability. Although the more I think about it, the more I think it's tied between the Insta Shield and the Drop Dash. I really can't decide which ability I prefer over the other. Although, seeing me use a Drop Dash is a more common sighting than the Insta Shield, so I suppose that'll serve as the answer to your question. On the first act, and we're taking 5 minutes. We should be near the end by now, though. Nah, I don't think we need a shield. You do have to pay very careful attention to your positioning, because as you just seen earlier, you could get crushed if you don't look up often enough, because there'll be a lot of these barrels, some that don't have spikes on their lower sides, and some that do, that could end up costing you a life. So positioning is incredibly key when trying to navigate through the first act, as well as patience. But we nailed it just fine, and now here we have the pyramid, which will hide away the entrance to Eggman's hidden quarters that he's established on Angel Island, if only temporarily. And what we have here is the Stone Guardian mini-boss from the first act, which does not work traditionally like a boss battle. No matter how many times you hit it, it's just simply not going to die, at least not by traditional means. And I don't remember the knockback being that far. Wow. Okay, so that must have been a change introduced by Sonic 3 a.i.r. When you knock the boss down by hitting it, it actually slides along the ground. This wasn't something that happened in the original Sonic 3, I'm fairly sure. But either way, this guy doesn't have a health gauge, so you can't beat him the traditional way. What you do instead is you lead him over here to this quicksand, and then knock him into it. We're gonna spin dash underneath him, and then we have to switch sides, make him face the other way, and then we'll attack him and send him right to his doom. It is as simple as that. Take care of that one, boss. Easy peasy. By the way, there's a funny clip I caught on Twitter from, I don't know how you pronounce their username like this, but I think it was Tidany, where he basically just teabagged the boss with Knuckles. Well, it wasn't seriously a teabag, it was more like a way to finish that boss in style. I'll have to link that clip in here somehow, but it's freaking hilarious. Anyway, here we are, at the very stage that has been the source of nightmares for many a young gamer. Many a young Sonic gamer, anyway. Welcome to Sandopolis Act 2, which features the interior of the pyramid that we just entered. And when you first enter it, there's no light at all, but you can easily fix that by tugging on these switches to light up the entire area. And that is a gimmick you're going to want to make the most of throughout this entire act. Because later on, there will be a threat that you'll have to keep in mind while watching how bright the lights are. It really is important, as you're gonna see in just a minute, but let's make sure we don't get crushed first of all. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that sound effect's gonna grate on your nerves awfully quickly. Just to warn you. Uh-oh. Well, I hope you guys aren't scared of ghosts, because we don't have any Ghostbusters to call upon this time. We just have Sonic and Tails. Wow, that actually didn't kill Tails! That's crazy! Like, he was seriously pushed into the wall just now, and he was still alive! Man, that fox's gift of immortality is something I truly envy. Oh boy, look at this. I think this was that... Yeah, this was definitely that part of the second act which involves so many sand slides like these that a lot of players got lost at, myself included, at least until I figured out the consistent route that would get me through here. It's hard to explain, but generally, if you're not taking the leftmost slide like this, chances are you're gonna find yourself getting lost. Whereas you keep going on the right slide, well, the right, what's the proper description for it? The slide that moves you towards the left is the one that's more likely to get you lost. The ones that move you towards the right are the ones that you want to take. I kind of incorrectly describe a left slide as taking you towards the right, but at the same time not. You know what? I'm just babbling right now. Let's just move on. Ah! I don't always have my great moment trying to instruct viewers on something, but I'm trying. Oh boy. No, 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 no! Whew. Yeah, as annoying as sound effect is, it is also useful because it lets you know that the very gates you unlock by pushing those black panels like this are still open. But once the sound effect stops going off, it means the gates have closed and you fail to reach them in time. So it's something you're gonna want to pay close attention to. And speaking of gates, this one could have slammed shut on us in a very lethal way. Speaking of lethal. Oh no! I lost my electric shield. Not like I really needed it. As for those little punks right there, the darker the stage gets, the bigger the ghosts get. And once the entire temple is submerged in complete darkness, the ghosts will evolve to the most powerful form to the point where they become a threat. In fact, they're already on their way there right now. This is getting kind of scary. And there's no items up here, so we came up here for nothing. We're going to have to find a light switch quickly. Okay, another extra life. That's pretty encouraging. We're a little over 60 now. I have to warn you, those ghosts could start to become quite scary to look at once we lose all the light, and I don't think I'm gonna find a light switch anytime soon, so you better brace yourself. Oh, wait! Whew, just in time! I was about to have a panic attack. Anyway, I know this seems kind of suicidal, but you're gonna have to fill the entire pyramid with sand, as elevating yourself upward using these sand piles is your only means of progressing through these stages. If you don't do it, then well, you're just gonna stay stuck. But at the same time, you have to watch how you maneuver. While the sand dunes gradually climb upwards and upwards, because you're not careful, you could get crushed. Although in the case of that platform right there, it won't crush you if you're standing on the leftmost side, so don't worry about that. I think on the right it might stand a chance though. Now whenever you break those things open to fill the building with sand, make sure you get out of the narrow spaces to lower your chances of getting crushed! Crap! I tried to activate the light switch, but I was a little too slow there. You know what? Tails! Screw this! I need your help. Badly. Okay, quick. Okay, thank you. No. Oh, boy! Eee! Alright, we better hurry, because any second now, those ghosts will start attacking! It is getting really unnerving! Alright, they're about to attack. Fortunately, you can attack them right back yourself, so they can't do you any damage. Only I failed miserably in that endeavor. This is not looking good. This feels like a mixture of Sonic and Luigi Mansion right now. Oh, man. I tell you, man, there's just something about those ghosts that get under your skin. They're so frightening to look at. And I know that graphically they don't look all that intimidating, but I guess it's just the threat of them that sends shivers down your spine. It was not a stage I enjoyed as a kid at all. Not even close. And I don't think I'm alone. But we did get through there, ultimately. And that's good. I could have honestly gone hypersonic to eliminate the threat, but I still want to play through this the fair way, if you know what I mean. It makes the game more fun that way. Where we just go hypersonic and blast through everything, then it may as well not be much of a game. Anyway, but the secondary effect to the swing mechanic that I think I talked about earlier, or was that in another recording I did for this stage? Probably was, but either way, there are two ways you can utilize that rope swing gimmick. One of them will just lower you across the wall in a straight vertical fashion, The other will send you flying back and forth between two walls while you gradually scale your way downwards. You'll see it a lot more often in the second act as opposed to the first act. And it's a lot more fun that way to look at. Alright, let's come up here. Oh man, the lights are shutting off on us again, and I don't like that. Could we find a light switch, please? And there it is. By the way, I can't be the only one as a kid that was kinda unnerved by the dark, right? If you all were unnerved by the dark yourself, but you had to have a light switch on no matter where it is you went, shoot, I missed that gate. There was a big ring up there if you were wondering, but of course we have all the super emeralds on hand, so we didn't really need to go through that gate. But as I was saying a bit ago, I can't be the only one that was unnerved by the dark as a kid to the point he had to have a light switch on everywhere he went, right? If you were that kid yourself, let me know in the comments below. I'm curious. I need to know that I'm not alone with something like that. And knowing that, you can probably imagine how much this stage unnerves me. Between the lack of the light and the... Oh, what the heck? I'm gonna touch the very tip of that claw. Okay, I'm gonna watch out for that laser. Eh, boy. Gotta use the claws as stepping stones, break down the topmost part of the boss. and that will expose Eggman to the wind, so you'll get your opportunity to wail on him just like that. This is honestly a very... What the heck? Did anyone else see that? How was I in a standing position? Like, I just phased right through him. I guess while he was still an iframe after getting hit, it kinda helped clear the way for that bizarre situation to happen, but for a moment I just couldn't move and... like, what? Iframes can lead to weird situations sometimes. And you wonder what iframes are? That's basically the period of invincibility you undergo after you get hit, but you don't die immediately. If anybody remembers the spike bug that occurred in Sonic 1, it happened after you landed on a spike bed, and then when you land on it again, you died immediately, instead of being given the iframes that would allow you a few seconds to get your bearings back and retreat to safer ground. But that gimmick didn't exist for the spike bed concerned to Sonic 1, but with the enemies, it was a different story. And fortunately, they fixed that inconsistency for later Sonic games, including this one. Although it sure didn't do me a lot of good here. That was a very shaky performance on my part for the second I was concerned. Usually, I don't manage to let the ghost loose like that. I'm kinda getting sloppy. Whoa, Tails, what? What the heck happened there? Tails was literally running on thin air. Like, dude, what is that? I don't know what happened. He was supposed to be in a falling animation just like Sonic. Tails, I swear, you always get special treatment when it comes to the classic games. I hate you sometimes. Regardless, the Sandopolis Zone is behind us, and here we are in the Lava Reef Zone. One of the best stages of Sonic 3, and also one of the most important as far as the storyline is concerned, and you're gonna get to find out the importance of such in our next video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, although I certainly did enjoy the panic attack Sandopolis that you gave me. If you did like this video, let me know your likes and comments down below, and if you want to keep up with this playthrough, hit that sub button and ring that bell. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you when we go through a Lava Reef Zone, which will hopefully prove a lot less chaotic than Sandopolis. Until then, peace out, take care, and don't forget, blue blurs and red blurs for life. I said that last part so Knuckles wouldn't get mad at me. Later.